Every time you pick up these newly released Epstein files, you realize that the convicted sex offender often seemed to know something before the world did. And this time, that trail led us to Libya. The same Libya that NATO intervened in the middle of a civil war and ousted President Muammar Gaddafi. What did Jeffrey Epstein know about Libya even before the Libyans did? I'm Ananya Datta. Let's get started. Libya's downfall in 2011 is often framed as an Arab Spring uprising. But beneath the language of popular revolt sat a far more deliberate Western push for regime change. As protests broke out against Muammar Gaddafi's 42-year-old rule, the Americans, British and French moved quickly to take control of the narrative. Claims that Gaddafi was preparing for mass slaughter in Benghazi became the trigger, and NATO took this as a green light for an aerial war. Then on 20th of October 2011, disturbing images of a blood-stained and shaken Gaddafi started circulating. He was being pulled out from a gutter in his hometown, only to be dragged, beaten, and finally killed. In the video, filmed by a bystander and later aired on television around the world, Gaddafi was seen in the last chaotic moments of his controversial life. But hold on. 4 months before Gaddafi's death, while Libya was still officially at war, Jeffrey Epstein, an American financier in New York, was already discussing how to make money after the country collapsed. All the emails you see hereafter have been officially released by the US Justice Department as part of the Epstein investigation. These were sent to or from jevacation@gmail.com, which has been established as Epstein's official email ID. The emails show that Epstein was constantly in talks throughout 2011 with multiple people, some named like Gregory Brown and Jess Staley, others unknown. They spoke about Libya's political chaos, frozen assets, and the opportunities that the chaos created. According to the email, about $80 billion in Libyan funds were believed to be frozen internationally, including roughly $32.4 billion in the United States. One email laid out the plan very bluntly, and I'm quoting from it. So if we can identify or recover 5% to 10% of these monies and receive 10% to 25% as compensation, we are talking about billions of dollars. Another email notes that France had already begun transferring frozen Libyan money to the rebels' National Transitional Council, officially for humanitarian aid. But the sender adds a crucial line here, and I'm quoting again. It is estimated that the real number is somewhere between 3 to 4 times this number in sovereign, stolen, and misappropriated assets. The sender also said that he knows some former members of Britain's Foreign Intelligence Service, MI6, and Israel's external intelligence agency, Mossad, and they can assist in efforts to identify and recover quote-unquote stolen assets of Libya. Now, this series of mails suggests that the plan was to start the groundwork before Libya officially fell, which they somehow knew was going to fall. The sender calls this the quote-unquote the real carrot, one that can help Epstein's company to be ahead of the queue in rebuilding of the country. There is also an email extensively speaking about Mahmoud Jibril. He was the interim Prime Minister of Libya during the time Gaddafi was overthrown. In this email, the sender, as we know him, Greg, claims that he was aware of Jibril's resignation a month before it actually happened. Taken together, these emails paint a disturbing picture. While Libya was being bombed, divided, and dismantled, powerful men in New York were already calculating percentages, their fees, and future contracts. Jeffrey Epstein's files force us to confront an uncomfortable truth. They are no longer just about sex crimes, flight logs, or who attended what party. The names stretch from tech titans, Wall Street deal makers to foreign dignitaries, royalty, former presidents, and even sitting leaders. And these people, whether convicts themselves or not, made Epstein's influence boundless. So much so that he was present that day on the Libyan streets where Gaddafi took his last breath, not in uniform or the camera, but as a shadow that knew what was to come. I'm Ananya Datta. Thanks for watching.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the US will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.